So today we're gonna be ranking the best dices in this game, guys. All of them. All of the dices we're gonna be testing it. Besides Dice Shard, because Dice Shard is... Fuck Dice Shard, man. If you guys gonna see videos like this, comment in the comments like, hi Chaos, I would like to see more videos about ranking items and showing them. Let's go to the video. So today we're gonna do a little tier list. Look at this. We have broken, which is like S tier. We have useful. That means that the item is useful. We have situational. It means that the item can be good sometimes. You know, it can sometimes can be, you know, sometimes can be. We have take only if you don't have an active item. You know, there's items, for example, that you wouldn't take even if you didn't have an active item. You would just like straight up like ignore it. Yeah, this item here in this category, it's like, yeah, you should take it. You know, you can use it a couple times. And below here is don't take it even if you don't have an active item. You might use it by accident, which is like a active item that is so bad. Just leave it there. It's not gonna be good for you. Okay. By the way, I'm not gonna do any slander here. I'm not gonna be saying like, oh, this 6 is actually not that good. You know. No, I'm not gonna be doing that. I know like, the community loves to do slander, but today I'm locking in. I'm actually giving useful information. I'm not gonna be saying like, oh, Book of Belial is actually better than Sacred Heart because it gives you a damage or something like that. No. I'm gonna give actual good shit, okay? Anyways, let's go. First item, we're gonna do it this by number. So we're gonna talk first about the D1. I'm gonna say this. D1 is stronger than you think. I would exchange my D1 with my D6 if I was playing with Isaac. Because I did so many breaks. Like, I'm probably gonna put this on the video, like right here, like up here. Up here, like in this part. A video that I broke the run using D1. That you might actually wanna watch it, okay? So I'm gonna put this on useful. It's not broken enough because it's not a free win. You getting D1 is not a free win. But my friend, having D1, you can D1 cards to get different cards. You can D1 runes to get different runes. You can D1 chest, for example. You got a great chest, you can just turn into a locket chest like the golden one. And the best thing, you can D1 objects and you get the same object. I'm gonna give an example. An object can be emergency call. An object can be dice shard. And you can imagine like having infinite dice shard. So you can like do rerolls for a little bit cheaper because this 6 is 6 charges. D1 is only 4, so you have a D6 for 4 charges. But this item is not on the broken. It's not on the broken because it's simply like it really depends on what you get in your run. If you don't get something so useful, it's sad, you know? So I'm gonna leave it on useful. D4. D4 is actually quite interesting, okay? I really like D4. I'm not even joking. D4 is one of my favorite dices because, again, is very situational, okay? There was runs that I started with Eden and D4, and I just went there, got some angel deal items, just kept spamming D4 until I got like Sacred Heart with Revelation or something. It could be very good if you don't have good items, because every rolls the item from the pool. If you got a lot of Devil deal items, angel deal items, you can just be spamming until you get like Brimstone or like Mom's Knife. It's not like, oh, the most incredible dice in this list, but it is a very good one. It's just that people are just too scared. Like if you have a whole floor for you to explore, you can use like D4 like 4 times. There's no way you don't get good items after 4 times of using it, okay? We're going to go to the next one, and this one is a clear take only if you don't have an active item. D5 is a very good dice because when you have like weak items, you're not strong enough and you are like on a very, very hard floor. If you have D5, it's just gonna be a cakewalk. Because imagine you go into a room where there's a bunch of enemies that have like a huge amount of health. They're very hard to deal with, but then you just downgrade them. You just downgrade. Like D5 is amazing. You can just downgrade the enemies. Can you tell me how this is not useful? There was runs that I was suffering because the enemies were too strong and I had barely no items, and I was just downgrading the enemies, and it's very cheap too. So it is a very good. I would even say situational because depending on what I have, like low key, I would get D5 depending on what I have. Like if I don't have a very strong active item, I would just take D5 because it would help me out win the run, you know? Now going to the next one, this is I would say it's broken, but at the same time I said that I was like weaker than D1 in some situations. So I would say is below D1. I would say it's above D1, but it really depends on what I have, you know? If I have a dice, I mean if I have a rune, I would use D1 and leave my D6 there. I'm not joking. I would do that. If you watch my streams, like, by the way, follow me on Twitch. The link is in the description. I do streams every single day. Sometimes I do tend to exchange the D1 with the D6 with the D1 because I don't really care a lot about rerolls. I care about rig potential, and sometimes this can be very good. I'm telling this to you too. Like, if you are watching this video right now, stop being so basic when you play an Isaac. Start actually like planning what you want to do in the run. For example, if you have D1, if you have car battery and chart plug, you can literally just get hearts and keep duping them and getting more hearts and duping them non-stop. That's a very good thing that you can do in the run. But no, we're not talking about D1 right now. We're talking about D6. D1, your opportunity is over. I already talked about you. But there's so much build. I could do like a 30 minutes video showing all the builds you can do with D1. And the Eternal D6 is below because you know how Eternal D6 is. You have only a 25% chance to lose the item. But bro, if there's a chance for me to lose the item, I'm gonna reroll something and I'm gonna lose the item anyways. You know how it is, like the law of Murphy. If you have a small chance of something bad happening, it will happen. You guys know how it works, right? Eternal D6 is very good because only 2 charges. But if you have a chance of losing the items, I rather not take. I will take D1 over Eternal D6. You know, I wouldn't even say this is situational, like above everything is situational. Because I would take D6 above this, I would take D1 above Eternal D6. I guess, but secret room items, bro. Stop with the secret room items, bro. I don't give a shit about them. Shops is better anyways. Shops is much better than secret room, okay? I'm saying this. This is like the worst take you could ever take here. But I say this. I rather take shops than take secret room items. I'm tired of like, oh, rock bottom, mega mush, at the infinity. I would rather just go there and take other items in the shop like sharp plug habit, mystery gift, chaos, membership. Do you guys understand my point here, right? Every single, like most of the videos I broke around, I do it by using the shop. Shop was nerfed, but they are still amazing. It's one of the best pools in the game. I have nothing to say. It's just too good. And I don't know why I'm talking about shops when we're talking about Eternal D6. I mean, they are secret room item, right? So D7, situational. I wouldn't say is this. I would say situational because I would use it. For example, if I had D4, I would change it for D7 because it has very cool mechanic. If there's a room where you know, for example, you have like Serpent's Kiss, you know what's the effect of Serpent's Kiss? You can just drop black hearts. You have this, right? And you know a room because all the drops from the black hearts of Serpent's Kiss are seeded. And you know the room that drops like 2 or 3 Serpent Kiss black hearts. You could just keep spamming D7 and killing that enemy and getting the black heart. And getting a bunch of rewards. I mean, it's not infinite, right? But and then if you have D7, bro, you might just keep using it every single time you can. You're gonna get extra pickups. How many times I got enough keys just because of D7? A lot of times. I literally a lot of times. And you know, on chess, D7 is broken because you can just get a bunch of items. But it's situational. I wouldn't say is it very useful because again, you need to get some items to make it useful. And I wouldn't say it's better than Eternal D6 because Eternal D6 is a reroll, you know. And I know it has like the chance of you like kind of losing the items, but D7 is still a very good option. Okay, I depending on the situation, I would even like take D7 over Eternal D6, but most of the time I would take Eternal D6. Okay, D8. If you don't know what D8 does. D8 rerolls your stats by multiplier. Like for example, you can get like a times 1.5 multiplier on your damage, like extra. For example, you already have, for example, stat, you can just get even more. You can get like damage up, the tears up, and then speed down, range down, and just and just not be able to shoot anything. D8 is the first one that I'm gonna say it. Take it only if you don't have an active item, and I would say like I would even say it's here like. Not gonna lie, you might get cooked over if you use this by accident. So I would say is the first one to stay right here. Okay, I would use it like a couple times, but most of the time I always get like bad shit. Like for example, I would have like 12 damaged, 4 tears, and then when I would get like a massive tears down with the damage down and get like speed and like range and like when I used it again, I would get almost my stats but a little bit weaker. So what's the point? I think this already happened with you guys, right? You just got like worse stats than you already had when you use like D8 a couple times. And that's it, bro. It's a kind of trash item. Kind of a trash item, chat. Now we're gonna go to D12. D12 is one of the first. I think it's gonna be only the only one. Just take it if you don't have an active item. This item could be very useful, which is funny because there is a useful category. Because if you have a room like this full of rocks, you can just keep using D12 there to just get tinted rocks, cross places, get stuff, bro. You can. It is very cheap too for you to use it. You can get like multiple soul hearts by using it in a big room full of rocks. It could be useful for you. I did this once and I got a cross place with Pyromaniac. I remember that. That was low-key good. If you don't have any active item, take D12 and just use D12 as much as you can. You can even like change the map to be better for you. Like for example, there are like rocks all around the room. You know, like the monster room that has like a bunch of rocks inside. You can just like get this D12, use it there, and then just make monster take a huge amount of damage. It's not that crazy, right? You can use that with Bambo too, like make him take a lot of damage. You know Bambino? His boss fight is always full of rocks. You can just literally use D12 there to make him take damage. There are some rigs that are so specific with this guy, so it's only like take it if you don't have an active item. And try to use as much as you can so you can maybe like get some value from it. D20, I would say, is situational above D4. Because again, the first thing you thought when I said D20 is grid mode, right? I don't even have to say it. Like grid mode. As soon as you saw D20, grid mode. And yes, it's very good for grid mode. D20 is broken for grid mode actually. But I would say D20 is very good for a room where there's the fight against greed. You know when you go to the shop a lot of times and then just like this fucker shows up? If he shows up in the secret room, you can just use D20 there and probably get a chest or something and then an item inside. I don't know. There's some potential, bro, but it's very situational as it is on his rank, right? It can be very useful. You just have to find like instead of just taking a bunch of coins, when you see a bunch of coins, try to use D20 there. You can maybe get a chest, a trinket. You can get some stuff, you know? Having sharp plug and piggy bank, you can literally like do this rig forever because you take damage, right? You spawn a bunch of coins, use D20 using sharp plug, and you turn all those coins on pickups. You get some hearts, you keep doing this, you can just do it forever, so it's very situational. Now we're gonna go to D100. D100 can be more useful than D20 sometimes because it does everything. Straight up, it does everything. Everything that you saw here, like D6, D20, D7, it does everything. People forget about that. They think that the D100 is just reroll all the items. No. It's D1, D20, it's D5, it's D12, it's D8. Yes, it's everything. That's why D100 is so broken. If you have a room with a mini boss, that's something for D7 too. If you have a room with mini boss, you can just do the mini boss again. And then you can just reroll the item using D100. Or maybe you can like use D100 until you get like broken items and like broken stats. Sometimes, this happened on my stream by the way. My stream is on the description. People would D100 me because there's a donation for that. And I would get a stronger build. Or like D20 the things that was in the floor and get stuff. Or like D6 the things that were in the room and get like a broken item. This item has some good potential, okay? It can do some crazy things. If you ask me why do I have D7 above D100s, because I don't like having my items reroll every single time I use it. I just rather have D7. I will use the D100 until I get like sharp plug and then drop it off and get my D7 back. Anyways, we're gonna go now to the strongest of all of them. The two strongest. When I have the opportunity, I always have like school bag with those two together. The Infinity and Spin Down Dice. The Infinity is of course in the broken one, because he's basically D100, but you can choose whatever the heck you want to use. So you can use all of them that are below right now. Literally, you can literally use all of them that are below. Everybody knows this, right? Just like rewatch the video until this point and then apply all of that to the D100. And that's it. Sometimes I forget that D100 has everything, and so I just end up just using D6 and don't even use the other dices, you know? But yeah, it's a very strong one. I have not a lot of things to say about this. The Infinity on Afterbirth Plus, it was a little bit trashy because you would get like randomly the other dices, but after they changed it, it just became way too strong. Spin Down Dice, it has to be above the Infinity because I have to say this, like Spin Down Dice is way too strong. Everybody knows this. There are some cool interactions you can do with it. For example, you can get blood bag and spin down dice blood bag to get brimstone. Everybody knows those one, right? Some that are a little bit broken, I would say, is when you have Benji Eater. You know when you get like like the latest food you can get on the game on Repentance Plus, on Repentance. You can just like pin down that a couple of times and get Twisted Pair. Or Echo Chamber if you want. So it's a very good one. You can literally control the items. But just be careful you don't get Dead's Note or something like that. Alright, this one I'm gonna say it's broken too. Because you don't get your items rerolled. But you can like reroll D20, do basically everything that you can do with this one. Besides D4 and D100. If you don't know what Cricket Dice does, if you take damage, you can use D20, D8, and you can use D6 too. And it's very good. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did a lot of crazy rigs with this item, okay? You should use it. If you get it, you should use it. But be careful to not use it when you are fighting a boss. I would rather drop it. And this one, Bag of Dice, is right here on useful. I'm gonna say it's above this one. And at the same time, it's close to situational, so I would like leave it like between here. Like, it would be like right here. Because it's situational, because you don't get the dices all the time you want. You only get them randomly in a room, but it could be very useful. For example, you enter the secret room, there's an item there, you get a D6. Yes, you know. or you can. By the way, it makes me a little bit upset that there's no spin down dice on the dice bag. It makes no sense. The dice is too, right? You should get it. It's so annoying. So this is basically my rank. I don't want to do a 40 minutes video, guys. I'm not like that. What do you guys think about my ranking? Would you guys want me to do another rank about other type of items, guys? Because I can do that too. Or maybe like instead of just talking about them, actually showing every single thing you can do with each one of them. That would be a 1-hour video, guys. Anyways, guys, if you can, leave a like. And if you want to support me, guys, I let my coffee in the pinned comment. And if you donate something, I'm gonna show in the next video. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.